My entitled aunt tried to steal my grandpa's house. So I let the cops and a judge handle it. Plus update. Hey, welcome back to Story Glory. Here I'll share submitted stories, Reddit posts, stories I find on the net, as well as a few of my own. If you like this story, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Today's story comes straight from our /entitled parents, and it's a wild ride involving an entitled aunt, an unemployed cousin, a stolen inheritance, and some well-deserved courtroom justice. Let's get into it. So I, 24M, inherited my grandfather's house when he passed away earlier this year. We were incredibly close. My parents divorced when I was young and my mom was always working, so my grandpa was the one who took care of me. He'd take me fishing, teach me to fix things, and even help me through school. He was my rock. The man could do anything. He built his house in the late 70s with his bare hands. He wasn't rich, but he made sure I knew how to work hard and take care of myself. A few months before his death, he sat me down and told me that when he was gone, he wanted me to have the house. He said I was the only one in the family who appreciated it, and him, for what it was. No one else understood the importance of that house, how many memories it held, and the fact that it was a product of his sweat and effort. When the will was read, it was crystal clear. My mom got his vinyl collection, my uncle got his tools, and I got the house. No one was upset about the will. My aunt, Karen, was the only one who seemed to have a problem with it. For context, Karen has always been the dramatic one in the family, the type who thinks she's entitled to everything just because she's the sister of the deceased. It started with a text message. Karen said something like, "Brad really needs a fresh start. This house could be perfect for him." I'm sure many of you have family members who have a very specific idea of how your stuff should be used, right? Well, Brad is my cousin. He's 25 years old, still living in Karen's basement, playing Fortnite all day, and having no ambition whatsoever. The idea that he needed this house was a joke. I politely responded that I intended to keep the house. Grandpa had given it to me and I planned to honor his wishes. Karen didn't take it well. She tried texting me, calling me, and even getting my mom involved. But I stayed firm. My mom wasn't on her side either. So Karen turned up the heat and started sending these passive-aggressive messages, saying things like, "I guess family doesn't come first, and it's a shame Brad has to struggle." I ignored all of it. Fast forward a couple weeks and I was finally planning to go out to the house to start cleaning it up and begin making some renovations. I hadn't moved in yet, but I had everything packed and ready to go. I thought it would be good to make the place feel more like home again, start some landscaping, and maybe replace the carpet Grandpa had laid down himself. When I pulled into the driveway, I immediately knew something was wrong. There was a U-Haul truck parked in front of the house. At first, I thought maybe one of the neighbors was moving in or out. But no. It was Karen's car, that old beat-up blue sedan she's had for years. I parked and walked up to the front door. The first thing I noticed was that the door was wide open. I thought maybe I'd forgotten to lock it when I last visited, but no. There was a broken lock on the door, as if someone had been inside for a while. I walked in and I could barely believe what I was seeing. The place was a mess. Wrappers, empty cans of soda, fast food bags all over the living room. And there, in the middle of it all, was my cousin Brad, sitting in my grandfather's recliner, headset on, yelling at some kids over his mic while playing Fortnite. I almost lost it, but I kept it together. I didn't want to make a scene right then and there. Then I heard Karen's voice from the other room, calling out like she was in her own house. I walked in and saw her sitting at the kitchen table eating cereal. She looked up, smiled, and said, "Oh hey, we're just getting settled in. Brad's been living here for a couple weeks now. It's great, right?" I stood there shocked. I couldn't even respond at first. My mind was racing. I asked her what she was talking about, and she casually explained that Brad needed a fresh start, and since I wasn't living there yet, she thought it would be fine if they just moved in. This was it. The audacity was next level. She literally thought she could just take my house. I told them both to leave immediately. Karen rolled her eyes, saying something like, "You're kicking out your own blood for what? A few months? Grandpa would be turning over in his grave." She even started to tear up like she was the victim. Brad didn't even look up from his game. He just said, "Whatever, man. You're going to let me live here or what?" At that point I was done. I walked outside and called the police. The police arrived fairly quickly. I showed them the will, the deed, and even the texts where Karen tried to manipulate me. The officers didn't waste any time. They told them to pack up and leave, or they'd be arrested for trespassing. Karen flipped out. She started shouting at the officers, telling them that this was her brother's house and she had every right to be there. The officers told her she had no right and had to leave or face criminal charges. she screamed. This isn't over. They left, but I knew Karen wasn't going to let this go. And I was right. Update, 6 weeks later. Hey Reddit, quick update on this nightmare. After the eviction, things got pretty quiet for a while. I thought it was over, but that wasn't the case. About 2 weeks ago, I received a lawsuit in the mail. Karen had actually gone ahead and filed a formal lawsuit against me. She claimed I had wrongfully evicted Brad, that I caused him emotional distress, and that I was denying family property by not letting her son stay in the house. I can't make this up. The case went to court and it was a disaster for Karen. She showed up representing herself, and looking like she had just come from a garage sale. She claimed that Grandpa's will was confusing, and that Brad should get the house because he was more deserving. The judge did not hold back. After going over the will, the deed, and the evidence, he dismissed the case immediately and told Karen she was wasting everyone's time. He even warned her that if she continued to pursue this, I could sue her for legal fees. But here's the real kicker. Karen had to pay for the court fees. That's right. She didn't get a free ride. The court ordered her to pay a hefty sum for filing a frivolous lawsuit. She was absolutely furious. She didn't have the money to pay it, so her and Brad had to sell off some of their personal items to cover it. To top it all off, Karen has been talking to the rest of the family, saying that I'm the villain. But when they heard about her lawsuit being thrown out and the court fees, their sympathy for her evaporated. No one is talking to her, and her reputation in the family is completely ruined. As for Brad, he ended up quitting his vape shop job and now apparently wants to start a YouTube channel. I've been living in the house, slowly fixing it up, and it's starting to feel like home again. Grandpa would be proud. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. Moral of the story: never let entitled family members think they can just take what's yours. Now for the top comments. Legal89 says, honestly, I'm shocked Karen thought she could just waltz into court with no evidence and try to claim she had a legal right to the house. How did she think that was going to go? HouseOfCards84 says, I love how you stood your ground and let the system handle it. It's amazing that the family rallied behind you after Karen's stunt. Back in the day, Jay says, Karen thought she could just claim the house because family? She's lucky she didn't get hit with sanctions for wasting the court's time. Coffee with Chaos says, emotional distress from a kid playing Fortnite in his new room? I don't even know how she came up with that. Face with tears of joy. Entitlement is one thing, but breaking into someone's inheritance and trying to sue your way into owning it? That's a whole new level. Thanks for tuning in to Story Glory, where every story leaves a mark. If you enjoyed this one, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tales that captivate, inspire, or just make you think. Got a story suggestion or something to share? Drop it in the comments. Until next time, keep the stories alive.